This is Daily Homeless News, where tell the stories no one else will. San Francisco is world-renowned for its breathtaking views of the Golden Gate Bridge, the timeless charm of its cable cars, and the vibrant mix of cultures found throughout neighborhoods like Chinatown, the Mission District, and Haight-Ashbury. For travelers and documentary filmmakers alike, the city offers a dynamic blend of iconic landmarks and buzzing street life. Yet just beyond the postcard scenes and bustling tourist paths lies a sobering reality. San Francisco is grappling with a deep-rooted and complex homelessness crisis. Every night, thousands of people in San Francisco are left to sleep on sidewalks in their vehicles or beneath makeshift shelters. While homelessness is a widespread issue across the United States, it feels especially jarring in a city celebrated for its wealth and cutting-edge innovation. Soaring housing prices, a critical lack of genuinely affordable homes, and a maze of social and economic hurdles have made securing stable shelter nearly out of reach for many. In this episode focused on Homeless in America, we dive deep into San Francisco's crisis, where things stand today, the root causes behind the surge, and how city leaders are responding. Most importantly, we hear firsthand from those living this reality. We'll also draw comparisons with other major cities and consider what real, lasting solutions could look like in the fight against homelessness. According to the 2024 point-in-time count, around 8,323 individuals in San Francisco are experiencing homelessness, with 2,900 of them living without shelter, spending their nights in tents, vehicles, or directly on the city's sidewalks. With a population nearing 875,000, this gives San Francisco one of the highest per capita homelessness rates in the country. It's important to understand the distinction between sheltered and unsheltered. Sheltered individuals have temporary access to emergency shelters or transitional housing, while unsheltered people sleep in areas never meant for habitation, under freeway overpasses, on park benches, or in alleyways. In neighborhoods such as the Tenderloin south of Market and parts of the Mission District, the crisis is impossible to miss. Rows of tents, sleeping bags along curbs, and makeshift shelters crafted from cardboard and tarps tell a story of deep-rooted challenges, not a voluntary lifestyle, but a last resort. The visibility of homelessness in these areas underscores the severe gaps in the housing system and social safety nets. Residents, small business owners, and nonprofit organizations are left balancing concerns about health hazards, street safety, and sanitation, while still trying to treat unhoused individuals with dignity and care. Community responses range from heartfelt outreach to growing frustration. Some advocate for stronger policies and the removal of encampments, while others push back, insisting that without affordable housing, those actions merely shift the problem elsewhere. Many locals are concerned about sidewalk accessibility, neighborhood safety, and the city's image, especially with rent for a modest one-bedroom often exceeding $3,000. But beneath the statistics are people, many of whom were once housed and stable. A job loss, a health crisis, or an unexpected emergency was all it took to send their lives spiraling. Have you ever stopped to think what it would be like to lose your home in one of America's most expensive cities? That's the harsh reality thousands are living with every day. San Francisco is known for having some of the highest housing prices in the country. Renting a modest one-bedroom apartment can cost anywhere between $3,000 and $3,500 a month, well beyond the reach of many low and middle income earners. The situation becomes even more difficult due to a severe shortage of affordable or subsidized units. Long waiting lists, strict eligibility requirements, and a lack of new low-income developments make it nearly impossible for many to secure stable housing. At the heart of the crisis lies a simple imbalance. There just aren't enough affordable units to go around. Although the city requires that a portion of new construction be reserved for below market rate housing through its inclusionary housing program, the pace of development has fallen behind the rising demand. This shortfall leads to fierce competition for limited options and drives rental prices even higher.
Well, the price of the lowest, the cost of the lowest, cheapest hotel room was $550 a month years ago. Now it's gone up to $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and I don't get that much. Even the retirement check I've got, the SSI doesn't even come close. So I'm trying to get a hold of a discount room, and we've gotten the donations for that. And even though we've got donations constantly, I still haven't seen the rooms being built to accommodate thousands of homeless people that are trying to get one.
For many residents teetering on the edge, a mix of economic and personal challenges often pushes them into homelessness. Irregular gig work, part-time jobs, and unstable industries contribute to income volatility. A sudden health issue or family emergency can wipe out savings overnight, forcing impossible choices between rent, medical care, or basic needs. Survivors of domestic abuse without safe alternatives or support may find themselves with no place to turn once they flee danger. Health issues are a constant shadow for many living without a home. While not every individual facing homelessness struggles with addiction or mental illness, a large number wrestle with serious health complications. From chronic diseases left unmanaged to mental health conditions that go untreated for years, the lack of consistent medical care often pushes people further from stability. These challenges don't just happen alongside homelessness, they fuel it. In San Francisco, the link between health and housing is undeniable, and any honest conversation about being homeless in America must confront how these two crises feed into each other, creating a cycle that's incredibly hard to escape. One of the central pillars shaping San Francisco's approach to homelessness is the housing first model. This framework is built on the belief that securing long-term, stable housing must come first, before tackling challenges like substance use, mental health issues, or employment training. Unlike older systems that required sobriety or participation in programs prior to housing, Housing First prioritizes immediate access to shelter. Once someone is off the street and into a home, they're in a much better place to engage with the support services available. San Francisco operates multiple navigation centers that differ from traditional shelters in key ways. They're designed to reduce barriers by allowing people to stay with their partners, pets, and belongings, factors that often prevent individuals from seeking shelter. These centers also provide on-site services such as case management, legal aid, and job placement, making them a more flexible and comprehensive option. While standard emergency shelters remain available, many people experiencing homelessness find them overcrowded, overly strict, and lacking privacy. Launched during the height of the pandemic, Project Roomkey repurposed hotels and motels as temporary housing for vulnerable homeless individuals. This emergency effort minimized the spread of COVID-19, i.e. among unhoused populations. Its successor, Project Homekey, expanded the effort by purchasing these buildings and converting them into longer-term housing, cutting through the red tape often tied to new construction. Still, this program depends heavily on sustained funding and strong long-term oversight. The voters took a bold step with Proposition C, a ballot measure that taxes businesses earning over $50 million annually. The revenue, projected in the hundreds of millions, goes directly toward housing, mental health care, shelters, and supportive services. The biggest hurdle now lies in execution, making sure those funds don't stall in bureaucracy, but instead turn into real solutions on the ground. As we continue shedding light on homelessness in San Francisco, we truly appreciate your support. If content like this speaks to you, take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, Daily Homeless News. Your interaction helps us uncover deeper layers of the Homeless in America crisis, while also offering a window into the life, culture, and contrasts of cities around the globe. Together, we can highlight the voices and stories that often go unheard and bring long overdue attention to the realities hiding in plain sight. Many people assume homelessness follows a single pattern, but the truth in San Francisco is far more complex. Some individuals once held steady jobs and lived comfortably until a layoff or medical emergency tipped their lives into crisis. Others are escaping domestic violence or unstable home environments. Many face ongoing mental health challenges or physical disabilities that make long-term employment difficult. There are also those who work full-time but still can't make rent in a city where housing costs are among the highest in the country. Have you ever thought about how someone with a job, working day in and day out, could still end up living in a car or a shelter? It's a harsh reality for many, and it underscores how thin the line can be between stability and homelessness in a place like San Francisco. Even well-meaning support programs sometimes come with limitations that make them hard to use. Rules like curfews or bans on personal belongings can push people away. For instance, someone might rely on a pet for emotional support, but many shelters won't allow animals. Safety concerns, fear of theft, or the spread of illness are also reasons people avoid traditional shelters. That's why the navigation center approach is often seen as more effective. It lowers those barriers and builds a more welcoming, community-focused environment. Being homeless isn't just about lacking a roof. It's about the day-to-day exhaustion of not having a safe place to rest, no privacy, and no consistent address to receive mail or apply for jobs. Routine tasks, showering, washing clothes, charging a phone, become constant battles. Limited public transportation can make it hard to get to work or see a doctor. These challenges show why real, holistic support systems are essential, because people experiencing homelessness are more than statistics, they're human beings trying to make it through each day with dignity. New York. New York City has the highest number of homeless individuals in the United States, but the reality on the ground looks quite different from what you'd find in San Francisco. Thanks to the city's unique right to shelter law, the vast majority of New York's homeless population is housed in shelters each night. As a result, fewer people are seen sleeping on the streets, even though the system places a massive financial strain on the city, which is legally obligated to provide a bed for anyone in need. In contrast, San Francisco's lack of a similar law contributes to a more visible street population. Comparing these two cities reveals a striking contrast in public policy, societal attitudes, and how local real estate markets influence both the perception and the scope of homelessness. It's a powerful lens through which to better understand the broader crisis of being homeless in America. Los Angeles. Los Angeles County is home to over 60,000 people experiencing homelessness, many of them concentrated in high-profile areas like Skid Row. Much like San Francisco, LA struggles with a chronic lack of affordable housing and a high proportion of unsheltered individuals. But the differences emerge in the physical scale and administrative structure. LA stretches across a sprawling landscape, making it harder to coordinate outreach and deliver consistent support across its communities. Seattle. Seattle faces a rising tide of homelessness, driven by housing costs and growing inequality. Tent encampments have become more common, and harsh weather, rain, cold, and damp conditions add to the challenge, similar to how foggy nights and sudden cold spells affect those living on San Francisco's streets. Like San Francisco, Seattle's booming tech economy has brought prosperity to some, while driving up prices and deepening the gap between income levels. From coast to coast, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, and San Francisco, all these cities share the burden of sky-high housing costs and a severe shortage of affordable homes. Each city has taken different approaches to addressing homelessness, but the results show that localized efforts alone aren't enough. This nationwide pattern raises a pressing question: how much influence do national housing policies and broader economic trends have on homelessness at the city level? The recurring housing crises across these urban centers make it clear real change requires bold action, not just locally, but at the state and federal levels too. Addressing homelessness begins with boosting the supply of truly affordable housing. That means strengthening inclusionary housing policies so developers dedicate a larger share of units to below market rates, cutting through red tape to accelerate the construction process, and significantly increasing public funding for vouchers, supportive housing, and public developments. Transforming unused spaces, vacant hotels, outdated office buildings, abandoned storefronts into livable homes is another powerful strategy. San Francisco's efforts through Project Home Key are commendable, but the scale must grow to keep pace with the rising number of people falling into homelessness each year. Affordable housing is just one piece. Without mental health care, employment programs, and accessible medical services, many housed individuals may still struggle to stay off the streets. The Housing First model is most successful when combined with comprehensive support, counseling for trauma or mental illness, job readiness training, addiction treatment, and legal support to help individuals navigate complex personal barriers. This approach depends on strong coordination between city agencies, nonprofits, and grassroots groups. Proposition C funding provides financial muscle, but it also comes with the responsibility to manage it transparently and efficiently to avoid bureaucratic stagnation. San Francisco's powerful tech industry and wealthy businesses play a role in this crisis, and they can be part of the solution. Some have invested through philanthropic efforts and job programs, but broader, more sustained engagement is needed. Developers and corporate coalitions often resist regulation, yet cooperation is vital if the city hopes to reverse housing insecurity and maintain a reliable workforce in such a high-cost environment. For travelers seeking meaningful experiences, San Francisco offers more than scenic beauty. It reveals the complexities of urban life in America. The homelessness crisis is a stark contrast to the city's global image as a hub of progress and innovation. Getting involved, whether by volunteering, visiting community art spaces, or simply learning about local initiatives, can transform your visit into something far more impactful than sightseeing alone. San Francisco's homelessness problem is deeply entrenched, rooted in decades of economic shifts, housing shortages, and policy missteps. But it's also a city pushing forward with bold reforms, strategic funding, and an army of community-driven advocates. While there is no overnight fix, there are solutions in motion. Each one, be it a housing voucher, a converted building, or a counseling program, forms part of a larger puzzle. What's needed is relentless effort across multiple fronts: immediate shelter options, long-term prevention strategies, and continued support for vulnerable populations. The Housing First strategy, the rollout of Proposition C funds, and the scaling up of Project Home Key are all critical milestones. But sustaining momentum takes more than policy. It takes political will, consistent community pressure, and ongoing innovation. Tens of thousands of people remain on the edge, working adults, seniors, families, one paycheck away from living in their cars or on the sidewalk. As San Francisco looks ahead, the balance between short-term support like navigation centers and long-term change becomes ever more important. Can city leaders, corporate giants, and local communities keep up the fight? With San Francisco's resources and reputation for progressivism, there's reason to believe they can. If you ever find yourself walking the streets of this iconic city, go beyond the postcard moments. Step into the neighborhoods often overlooked. Support a local cause. Visit a shelter. Learn the names and stories behind the tents. That kind of engagement, the kind that inspires and challenges, turns a visit into a shared human experience.